My girlfriend stared at me like I'd done something unforgivable, like I'd crossed some dark, twisted line, all because I held my sister's hand while she gave birth 3 weeks early, terrified and alone. And in that moment, as she accused me of being inappropriate, something in me clicked. Not only was I not going to apologize, I was about to show her exactly what real boundaries look like. If you've ever been accused of something completely ridiculous, something you Kayombo in your soul was right and moral, then hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories where justice doesn't whisper, it roars. In today's story, you're not ready for this level of entitlement. Let's dive in. I'm 27, and my older sister Hannah, she's 30, is one of the toughest people I know. Military wife, resilient, organized, the kind of person who always takes care of others. But even the strongest people need somebody sometimes. Her husband is deployed until February. That wasn't a surprise. They'd prepared for that. But childbirth, that's a different kind of battlefield. Before he left, she'd sat me down at her kitchen table. Her hands were wrapped around a mug of tea, but they were trembling. And Hannah isn't a trembler. "Look," she said softly, "I know this is a weird ask, and I hope it won't come to this, but if I go into labor and nobody else is available, could you be my backup person?" She didn't need to explain. We lost our mom years ago. Her best friend lives across town and has a crazy work schedule. I didn't even hesitate. "Of course," I told her. "Whatever you need." At the time, I thought it was a simple promise. I had no idea it would become the center of a 3-day fight with someone who supposedly cared about me. Last Saturday, I was at work, a normal, boring shift, when my phone buzzed so hard it nearly jumped off the table. Hannah calling. When I answered, her voice was shaking. My water broke. It's early. I'm alone. I don't know what to do. I swear, my heart dropped into my stomach. I grabbed my keys, sprinted out the door, didn't care who saw or what rule I was breaking. Family comes first. Always. When I got to her place, she was hunched over, gripping the back of a chair, breathing hard, trying to be strong, but terrified. I got her into the car, drove as safely, fast as possible, and texted my girlfriend to let her know what was happening. She responded immediately. "I'm coming." At the time, I was grateful. I thought I had support. I was wrong. Everything moved fast. Nurses rushing, monitors beeping, Hannah clutching my arm with every contraction. Her face was pale. Her eyes were glassy. This wasn't the planned, gentle birthing experience she had hoped for. This was pain, fear, adrenaline. My girlfriend showed up about 20 minutes later. She came in looking concerned, but not for Hannah. More like concern that I was involved. When her eyes met mine, she had this look, not angry, not confused. More like she was silently judging the situation, but saving it for later. I brushed it off. My priority was Hannah. When the contractions got worse, and I mean writhing, squeezing, teeth, nails digging into my arm worse, she pulled me close and whispered, "Please don't leave. I don't want to be alone." There wasn't a single universe where I could have said no. I told my girlfriend, "Hey, Hannah wants me to stay with her. Can you wait outside?" My girlfriend blinked, slowly, like she was rebooting. But all she said was, "Okay." The tone, though, cold enough to keep milk fresh. I didn't have time to unpack her mood. My sister was shaking, sweating, terrified. She needed someone to anchor her, and I anchored for hours, holding her hand, whispering calm, helping her breathe. I watched her fight through pain most people couldn't even imagine. And when that baby's cry filled the room, that shaky, first wail of life, something inside me cracked open. It was beautiful, raw, human. The nurses placed a tiny baby girl in Hannah's arms. Tears streamed down her face. She whispered, "Thank you for being here." And I meant it when I said, "Always." My girlfriend came back in once the chaos had settled. She smiled at the baby, congratulated Hannah, and acted normal. Too normal. I should have known that was the calm before the storm. We walked to the car together. The hospital lights reflected off the windshield. The air was quiet. Too quiet. And then, like a switch flipped, she exploded. "What you did was incredibly weird." She snapped as soon as the car doors closed. I blinked, stunned. "What?" "You were in the room with her while she was exposed, in pain, vulnerable, and you stayed. You actually stayed." My hands tightened on the steering wheel. Of course I stayed. She didn't want to be alone. That doesn't matter, she shouted. She's your sister. She should not want you there for something like that. My chest felt hot. Not angry, baffled. Like my brain couldn't process the words entering my ears. She asked me, I said. Her husband is deployed. Her mom is gone. Her friend wasn't there. She needed someone. She could have asked the nurses, she hissed. Or, I don't know, me. I stared at her. You've met her twice. So, I'm another woman. It makes more sense. There it was. Entitlement disguised as logic. The idea that her comfort mattered more than a terrified mother giving birth. For 3 straight days, she wouldn't let it go. Every conversation turned into, you crossed a boundary. It was inappropriate. You don't get it. You know what I mean. But I didn't. Not because I'm oblivious, but because there was nothing inappropriate about supporting a family member during a medical emergency. Every time she brought it up, she made the situation sound twisted, like I'd intentionally barged into some intimate space. I kept asking her, explain the boundary, use real words. But she couldn't, because the problem wasn't the situation. The problem was her insecurity. On the 3rd morning, exhausted and fed up, I finally said, maybe you should talk to someone about why you reacted like this. This isn't normal. She threw back her head like I'd slapped her. So now I'm crazy. I didn't say that. But she was already spiraling. You're attacking me. You're calling me irrational. You're dismissing my feelings. I looked at her, really looked, and realized something. She didn't care about my sister. She didn't care about the situation. She cared that she wasn't the center of it, and that was the moment the anger finally settled into clarity. I wasn't going to apologize. Not now. Not ever. Someone had to show her what real boundaries meant. The next time she brought it up, accusing me again of crossing lines, I didn't argue. I didn't defend. I simply said, you're right. Boundaries matter, so here's mine. She stopped mid-sentence. I continued. I will support my family during emergencies. Always. If that makes you uncomfortable, then we're not compatible. That's my boundary. The look on her face. Shock. Then confusion. Then fear. Because she wasn't expecting me to set boundaries back. She was expecting guilt, submission, appeasement. But what she got was clarity. She stammered, so what are you saying? I'm saying I'm done fighting about this. I did the right thing. If you can't accept that, then maybe we shouldn't be together. For the first time in 3 days, she was silent, completely silent, because suddenly the power dynamic flipped. She realized she'd pushed too far. She realized she wasn't dating a pushover, and she realized her insecurity wasn't going to control me, whether we stay together or not. One thing became clear. She'll never pull this stunt again. Sometimes revenge isn't petty or dramatic. Sometimes it's simply refusing to be manipulated, refusing to apologize for doing the right thing, and standing firm when someone tries to twist your morality into something dirty. Boundaries aren't just walls. They're mirrors. And some people don't like what they see. If you enjoyed that story, or if you've ever had someone try to guilt you for doing the right thing, hit that like button. Subscribe for more real stories where justice is served with a side of clarity. And tell me in the comments, was the girlfriend out of line, or was this breakup level behavior? I'm curious what you think. Until next time, stay strong, stay smart, and protect your boundaries.